So you remember, guys, yesterday we did a story about the real provincial convener of the MK party in Mpumalanga, Mrs. Mary Padi, and the fact that Mary Padi has just accused the deputy president of the MK party, Dr. John Hlophe, of making unwanted sexual advances towards her. And according to Mary Padi, ever since she has refused to give in into the attempts of the deputy president, many scandals and many allegations have been following her. And she actually believes that all of these things that are said about her are manufactured by the deputy president, Dr. John Hlophe, behind the scenes. So there's a letter that Mary Padi says that she wrote to the president of the MK party on the 16th of January 2025. But again, the MK party says that the president never found this letter. And I guess this is why Jacob Zuma never responded to Mary Padi, because Mary Padi says that it is very bizarre that I would send this letter to the president of the MK party, and 10 days after, I'm still not finding a response from the MK party. So the MK party says, no, we did not receive this letter. But Mary Padi says that, yes, I did send this letter to the president of the MK party. So in a letter, Mary Padi says that, dear Mr. President, Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, I trust this letter finds you well. I write this letter to you to express my concern about the events that have been unfolding in our beloved party, Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, especially the events that relate to myself being victimized through various propaganda and false accusations placed upon my name. I would like to put it on a record that these accusations have been escalating since the Deputy President, Dr. John Hlophe, made sexual advances towards me that I did not appreciate. I would like to put it on a record that these accusations have been escalating since the Deputy President, Dr. John Hlophe, made sexual advances towards me that I did not appreciate. As a leader in Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, I take the matters of ethics and morality very seriously, and with a mandate to serve and deliver to our people. As a woman, I am being vilified and victimized since I refuse to give in to his attempts of spending the night with him as a favor. On August 4th in 2024, he sent a letter with effect of 22:54 that night, on the day after we had a leadership meeting in Nelspruit. My refusal and unresponsiveness was the diplomatic drive to manage the situation. I feel that the persistent vilification and continued propaganda against me is a consequence of my refusal to give in into his advances. This is manufactured behind the scenes by him. So these are very serious accusations. These are very serious accusations. I remember even yesterday, women in this country on social media, they started to speak about their bosses making sexual advances towards them, and how other women have decided to quit their jobs because the bosses would actually make sexual advances towards them, and when they refuse, they would be fired or they would be mistreated. And some people said that I had to go and report such and such to the boss, and people did not take me seriously. They just said that I am petty and all of these things. So this story is a very sensitive story, and it is not only about Mary Padi and Dr. John Hlophe. This is something that a lot of women in this country are dealing with. This is something that a lot of men in this country are dealing with, because some people are saying that, no, but what if she's falsely accusing him? And this is something that has been this is something that people have actually been speaking about. So it is a very sensitive issue. So Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, last night, they have decided to send their spokesperson to go on national television to actually address this matter of Mary Padi accusing the Deputy President, Dr. John Hlophe, of making unwanted sexual advances towards her. And me personally, guys, I understand, okay, this is how politics works. They have spokespersons, they have spokespeople, and these are the people that would normally go out to the media to represent such and such, or to represent the organizations. But because this is such a sensitive issue, I honestly feel like Dr. John Hlophe is the one that actually should be sitting on that seat to say that Mrs. Meripadi is telling lies about me, because whether we like it or not, this is something that actually happened between Meripadi and Dr. John Hlophe, and the people that can actually put us into confidence, the people that can actually tell us the truth, it is Meripadi and Dr. John Hlophe. Even if Dr. John Hlophe tells the spokesperson of the political party to say, go on national television and tell them that I did not do that, go on national television and tell them that this lady that is accusing me is telling lies. But at the end of the day, you, as someone who has been accused, you are the one who is supposed to be sitting there. This is my take. I know this is how politics works. I know, but I feel like Dr. John Hlophe is the one that actually should be sitting there, because I feel like if Dr. John Hlophe could be sitting there, we could actually get somewhere with this thing that is happening. Because you remember yesterday, Oli actually spoke with Meripadi and said that, what if Dr. John Hlophe takes you to court? Then what? And she says that, yeah, that would actually be better if Dr. John Hlophe takes me to court, because everything will be ventilated into the courts. So it seems like Meripadi, this evidence that she's talking about, it seems like it's pretty solid, because she's not even shaken about the prospects of going to the court. That's why I'm saying that maybe even her, she was waiting for Dr. John Hlophe to go on national television to say that Meripadi is lying, so that she can release the screenshots, because the screenshots, this is something that South Africans actually want to see. All of us, we want to see those screenshots so that we can make up our own minds to say that, but Mrs. Meripadi, there is nothing in this screenshot, but or to say that, but Mrs. Dr. John Hlophe, the text that you were actually sending to Mrs. Meripadi were inappropriate. So I guess it will fold out. I guess it will fold out. So the deputy the spokesperson of the MK party went on national television, and the MK party went to an offensive. They have decided to go on offensive. I mean, like, somebody needs to tell them that this is not a good look. This is not a good look, because this is something that is very sensitive. This is something that a lot of women are going through in this country. So if you're gonna go on national television and try to assassinate the character of this lady, you are going to deal with backlash. And it will be on you. I feel like, as much as the MK party would like to defend their deputy president, because it is clear that this is the position that the party has decided to take. They have decided to protect the deputy president. I feel like they can still do that, but sensibly so, instead of going on offensive and attacking the lady that has just laid accusations against the deputy president.
Response now. Ms. Ndlela, good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time. How is the party handling or addressing this matter that has been put forward by Ms. Padi?
Well, I think let's start with the genesis of what led to where we're at. Meripadi is a leader at the time who was appointed by the national officials, and more so also by President Zuma. And she was entrusted with a role of setting up the structures within Mpumalanga and also being the party leader in the legislature. It's unfortunate that at the time, when the national officials wanted her to hand over the accounts of the legislature, that she totally refused to hand over the accounts. And the reason for the request to hand over the accounts is that as a party, we're putting in processes in place. We need to centralize all the accounts so as to ensure that we manage this organization professionally as part of professionalizing it. Now, there were certain reports that came through from Mpumalanga that not only on the issue of, the financial misconduct, if we should say, there were also other issues of, her attending meetings, wielding guns, backed by goons in these meetings, and intimidating.
And, like, why is the spokesperson of the MK party speaking about these issues, whereas Meripadi has already won the court case against the MK party? They've made these allegations towards her, and she went to the courts and she won. Why are they on national television and doubling down on something that they could not prove themselves?
People. This is also something that we should note, that at one point she was arrested. If people don't know, Meripadi was arrested. And the reason for her arrest was that she had made certain comments that were such that she wanted to get certain people assassinated. And the police got a hold of this information. There was recordings, and she was locked in. I remember at one point, Mary Paddy called me because she was concerned that this was going to blow over into the media, and she wanted to know how she should handle it. I've got SMSs that can show that. So
Release them.
Mary Paddy must not be painted as a person who is innocent here. Mary Paddy, in actual fact, was given an opportunity to make representations to the national leadership, of which she totally, again, denied to do so. She was given an opportunity. She was given an opportunity in light of those transgressions and her being in defiance to then step down. She didn't want to step down.
All right.
And we took a decision as national officials and the president to then terminate and to recall her. That's when then she obviously went to court. Now, leading up to that, the deputy president, alongside other leaders of the party, was sent there to deal with this crisis, even prior to her being terminated. And the report came back with recommendations, and those recommendations pointed to all these other things I've just mentioned, and even other things which I don't want to touch or get into because, we're going through a process. And that report basically made a recommendation that she be terminated. And off the back of that, one thing that you should know is that as part of the analysis, the political analysis, the situational analysis in the province, the judge in this case with the team had to engage with two different factions, if you will, and hear both sides of the story. And to consolidate and to stabilize the organization in the province, that recommendation was made, and that's it, and that's why we're here.
You've painted...
He did not answer the question, man. He totally refused to answer the question. Is the party dealing with this matter? Is the party dealing with this matter? That was the question. That was the question. And I feel like I don't know how to put it, man. Like, I feel like I like these people should understand that this is way beyond Mary Paddy and Dr. John Hlophe. This is way beyond that. And this is why when you are dealing with such sensitive issues, you need someone who's going to go on mainstream media and actually appreciate the sensitiveness of this issue. Because if you're going to go on the mainstream media and the first thing that you're going to do is trying to paint this lady as someone who is horrible, you are going to get a backlash and people are going to look at you sideways. As much as you might say that this lady is lying, our deputy president is telling the truth, you cannot approach this matter the way the spokesperson of the MK party is approaching this matter, because it is a sensitive issue and this is something that actually should be dealt with. Is the MK party dealing with this issue? Now, the first thing that he had to do was to character assassinate the lady who has just gone out into the public against someone who is very powerful as the deputy president of the MK party, to say that the deputy president of the MK party made sexual advances towards me that I did not appreciate. You cannot go on the mainstream media and the first thing that you do is character assassinate that lady. You cannot do that. As much as you want to defend your deputy president, you should do it in a way that is not going to paint someone who has just come out as a bad person. And this is why they need someone who is mature to understand the sensitiveness of this thing, because it's going to cost them a lot. This is one of those issues that if you don't deal with them carefully, it is going to cost you, and it is going to cost you a lot, because you don't want the women in this country, the women that are scared to speak out against the people in their senior positions that are doing things to them, to look at you as like those people in the companies that they work for. You don't want to be seen like these bosses that are busy harassing the people, and when someone comes out and speaks out, they are being character assassinated and they are being spilled out. You don't want to look like that. This is not going to be a good look for Umkhonto weSizwe party, and again, you are going to give other political parties an ammunition to say that this is a political party that hates women. This is a political party that hates women. You don't want to appear as a political party that hates you women. You want to appear as a political party that respects women, that actually takes their concerns very seriously, despite the fact that you might have different conclusions. But when they come out and say these things, you must go on national television with level-headed and to say that this is how we are going to deal with this issue, but we are not going to go on offense. It is not going to help the MK party by actually approaching this matter this way. It is not. I can tell them now for free. It is not going to help them.
To a picture of the internal dynamics within the MK, but as things stand, there is a very serious allegation leveled against the deputy leader of the party, and this is a matter that the general public of South Africa are going to be concerned about and want to know whether the party is addressing it, given the state of gender-based violence in South Africa. And so it's a matter that cannot be downplayed. So I'm going to ask you again, is the party...
Because basically this is what he tried to do. He tried to downplay the accusations that have been made against the deputy president by character assassinating this lady. This is what he's trying to do. And I don't think he's aware that what he's doing, he's trying to downplay the allegations that have been leveled against the deputy president. And these are serious accusations. Just like Hlophe said, this issue of gender-based violence in this country, this is a very serious issue. Women being harassed, women being raped, women being killed. This is very serious issue. So you cannot downplay that kind of an issue by trying to character assassinate this lady.
The state of gender-based violence in South Africa, and so it's a matter that cannot be downplayed. So I'm going to ask you again, is the party dealing and addressing this matter in relation to Dr. Hlophe allegedly having sexually harassed Ms. Padi?
You know, as you said it, this is a sensitive matter. And Mkhonto Wesizwe and the leadership, we take such matters very, very seriously.
Oh, please.
And in light of that, you know, it's sensitive both in terms of what you said, the challenges that we're faced with as a society, with GBV perspective, but also sensitive politically, naturally, because as you said, this is the deputy president. So we need to look into that. We're taking this very seriously. Obviously, this is something that was brought forward off the back of what seemed to be a letter from her. I've never seen the actual letter or the confirmation that the president did receive this letter. You know, so one can also not confirm that it actually is a letter from her, even though she may...
But she did say that this is a letter from her. She did say that this is a letter from her.
Confirm that it actually is a letter from her, even though she may say that this is what it is.
Well, she does state it.
Well,
for
yeah,
the record.
well, I'm just saying
that
formally
it has been sent to...
No, formally
President
from our end, we haven't received that letter, is what I'm saying. So we cannot be taking and responding to a letter that's just we've seen in social media. If that is the case, then we'll take this seriously. But I think going back to the seriousness of the issue, which we should not underplay, we take this matter very seriously, and we're going to look into it.
All right. I just want, so that it doesn't appear as though I'm her mouthpiece, I'd like for you to listen to her saying that she has addressed this matter to President Zuma, and let's have a listen.
It is an internal letter that I was sending to the president to say, President, I think whatever that is happening, it is the reason behind the messages that I received, and I had denied that the deputy president the opportunity to be able to speak to me further than the way he did.
Yeah.
And indeed, I could tell that it did not sit well with them.
So the Mkhonto Wesizwe party says that they didn't receive that letter. I mean, like, what are your thoughts, guys? Do you think that Mary Padi could actually be lying about sending the letter to the president of the of Mkhonto Wesizwe party? Do you think that Mary Padi would go to such an extent that she would go to national television to say that this is a letter that I sent to Jacob Zuma, whereas she didn't send that letter to Jacob Zuma? Because right now, the MK party says that we didn't receive this letter. And Mary Party says that no, this is something that I have addressed with the president of the party. So who is telling the truth? Who is telling the truth? Did Jacob Zuma, or did Jacob Zuma find the letter, receive the letter, and didn't tell other people about this particular letter? That's why even the spokesperson is not even aware that the letter has been received. What could be at play here? Do you think that Mary Party is lying, or do you think that Jacob Zuma could have received the letter and didn't say anything about it, or do you think that the letter, Umkhonto we Party as a political party, they never received the letter? What are your thoughts?
The matter, Mr. Ndlela, is quite public now. Has the party called Dr. Hlophe to allow him the time to take the party into his confidence about what actually happened and whether he did indeed send text messages that Miss Party claims are in her possession right now?
Well, firstly, the Deputy President's position is very simple. And that is, there is no such messages that were sent. That's the first point. The second point is...
so I guess right now, what Mary Party should do is just to release the text. Because if the Deputy President of the MK Party, Dr. John Hlophe, says that there are no such text, then the best thing that Mary Party should do right now is to release the text. Because the Deputy President says that there are no text.
Messages that were sent. That's the first point. The second point is, even though that is the case, the DP will obviously take us into his confidence. This is something that has just, sort of blown up in the media. So we will then engage with the judge, at the right time. But as I said, we take this matter seriously. And that's what we need to focus on. But I think one of the things that we need to take into consideration here is that, we're trying to stabilize the organization as Umkhonto we leadership. We've got an organization here that needs to gear up for local government 2026 elections. We cannot have a situation where we have rogue elements of individuals who don't take instructions from leadership. And this is exactly what's happening with Mary. Mary has been in defiance of the organization. You can't, when you're recalled or requested to hand over accounts, and think you're going to manage, those accounts as though they're your own personal piggy bank.
Okay, can I stop you there for a moment?
It doesn't fly that way.
Okay,
what I think is important, go ahead.
You refer to her as a rogue element.
Yes, she is.
And part of what is happening to her, aren't you concerned? Because she seems to suggest that the trouble that she possibly faces in the party may now possibly be used as some kind of bargaining chip by the deputy leader of the party in order to get certain things out of her, and perhaps in that way she could possibly keep her position in Mpumalanga. Do you understand where this is going?
Yeah, I understand you're trying to draw parallels that don't exist. And that's exactly what you're trying to do here, unfortunately. This is what it is. We did say we're taking this matter very seriously. And that is a separate issue. Now let's separate the two. This matter has been ongoing for some time. She should have raised this issue at the time when she was asked to make recommendations, representations, which she did not. So I heard her at one point saying that the issue of the timing or whatever the case may be. No, we're saying, can you see where I'm going? It can also look as though it's opportunistic, is what I'm saying. But it does not negate the fact that this matter is a serious matter that we're taking as seriously and that it should receive the attention that it should.
Okay.
It's also important for you to understand here that what if, and maybe you may not be aware of this, as I've said, you dealt with a person that's also been in prison here, in jail for a couple of days, for certain things.
I mean, like, if you are trying to say that Mary Party being in jail means that she has no credibility, like, you are in the MK Party, man. You are in the MK Party, so do not even try to play that card, because you don't want us to now start looking into the people in the MK Party to say that these people are not credible because they have been in jail. So do not try to use the fact that she has been in jail to try to say that she is not credible, because we could easily say the same about the leader of your political party. So I don't understand why would you try to try to play this game that she has been to jail, and to try to say that, yeah, just because she has been to jail, we cannot trust this lady. Your president of the party has been to jail, so don't take that route.
That in of itself should ask you and throw big question marks on the person's character. And the fact that, by the way, they didn't want to hand over their accounts. We're fully aware what's happening in those accounts. Naturally, as is the case, if it does lead and off the back of a process, because remember, she's still a member of the party. She's there off the back of Mkhonto Wesizwe ticket. So if the leadership is calling you or recalling you, you need to adhere to the instructions. In this case, she's in defiance. So she's rogue.
I feel like the MK party didn't address this issue. They are doubling down on separate issues of her not resigning when she's being asked to resign and stuff like that. I don't think that they are taking this matter seriously. I honestly don't think that they are taking this matter seriously. I don't know, guys, but that is my opinion. You can tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.